No one in the German General Staff expected that the moment redefining how the world viewed European artillery would unfold on a muddy field under relentless counter-battery fire. A single PZH-2000 fired 10 rounds in under 60 seconds each at a different angle, only for the entire volley to land on target almost simultaneously. In the opposing command post, radar and reconnaissance teams reported what looked like multiple artillery batteries firing at once, when in fact it was just one gun. For the artillery officers who witnessed it, this was no longer traditional artillery. It was a tracked fire control computer engineered to think, calculate, and strike at the pace of modern warfare. And they understood clearly. Without systems like this, the outcome of many ground battles in Europe would have been dramatically different. Yet, the PZH-2000 did not emerge from a vacuum. In the final years of the Cold War, as the Warsaw Pact could mass overwhelming armored formations into Central Europe, NATO faced a non-negotiable requirement to field a self-propelled artillery system that could outrange, outshoot, and outcalculate anything the Soviet Union could deploy. Older systems such as the M145 and the FH-70 could no longer keep up. Limited range, slow rate of fire, vulnerable crews, and almost no integration with emerging digital command and control networks. After the Cold War, localized conflicts, especially in the Balkans, revealed a new set of demands. Artillery now had to be not only powerful, but highly mobile, capable of shoot and scoot within minutes, and survivable against drones and long-range counter-battery radars. Any howitzer that could not redeploy within minutes after its first salvo was essentially a fixed target. It was within this strategic landscape that the design philosophy of the PZH-2000 took shape: a self-propelled howitzer with exceptional range, an advanced automatic loading system, high crew protection, deep integration with NATO's command networks, and the durability to sustain high-intensity fire, yet still maneuver across Europe's varied terrain. Nothing was maximized blindly. Everything was balanced between deterrent power, mobility, and long-term mechanical resilience. From this point onward, the story is no longer just about a howitzer. It reflects how an advanced industrial nation conceptualizes warfare in the 21st century. Precision, automation, and real-time data. But that is only the surface. Beneath the thick armor, beneath the imposing turret and the 155mm gun, what exactly does the PZH-2000 conceal that makes adversaries so cautious? On the training ground, the PZH-2000 looks like any other heavy self-propelled howitzer. A large hull, a massive turret, and an imposing long barrel. But that sense of familiarity disappears the moment you step inside. Instead of a cramped fighting compartment filled with mechanical levers and analog gauges, the crew enters a space organized like the control room of a fire control computer. Digital displays, data panels, automated loading mechanisms behind the crew, neatly arranged ammunition racks. Every component is positioned to reduce unnecessary hand movements and accelerate the firing cycle. The hull is built on tank-style running gear with multi-layered armor to protect the crew from shrapnel and small caliber fire. The turret functions as an independent artillery module, housing the breech, recoil mechanism, automatic loading system, ammunition storage, and the fire control suite. The 155mm gun, 47 calibers in length, features thermal shielding, stabilization systems, and an algorithm-tuned recoil assembly, allowing sustained fire while maintaining accuracy. Its operational cycle runs almost seamlessly. From the command post, the PZH-2000 receives target coordinates, terrain data, weather conditions, and all other firing parameters. The fire control computer processes the information, combining it with muzzle velocity sensors and trajectory tracking radar to generate firing solutions within seconds. The crew confirms, the autoloader inserts a projectile and propellant charge, the breech closes, and the gun is ready to fire. After each shot, the system measures muzzle velocity again and automatically adjusts for the next round. When executing the multiple rounds simultaneous impact technique, the computer assigns a different elevation to each shot so that all rounds land on the target nearly at the same moment. What sounds to the enemy like several artillery batteries firing is in reality a single gun operating as intended. Viewed as a living organism, the PzH-2000 functions with distinct organs. The radar and sensors act as its eyes. The fire control computer is its brain. The automatic loading system is its muscle, pushing firepower through the barrel at a tempo no human loader could sustain. The defining feature is automation. The PzH-2000 removes much of the physical burden from the crew, but it also demands precision. Each component is integrated within a digital architecture where a single overlooked step can disrupt the entire cycle. But this body and brain are only the framework. The true destructive power of the PzH-2000 lies in what leaves the barrel, its ammunition types, their damage mechanisms, and the way they turn technical specifications into real pressure on the battlefield. The power of the PzH-2000 does not lie in its imposing silhouette, but in its ability to generate a density of fire so overwhelming that it forces the enemy to rethink how they assemble, move, and defend their forces. Imagine three simple battlefield scenarios. First scenario, a cluster of infantry, transport trucks, and lightly armored vehicles gathers at the edge of a forest before advancing. The crew selects a high explosive fragmentation round. Upon detonation, the shell produces a violent shock wave and thousands of high-velocity metal fragments sweeping through the area within its lethal radius. Within seconds, the enemy is forced to scatter in chaos or accept that their formation has been shattered by a single volley. Second scenario, a reinforced bunker or underground shelter the kind soldiers trust as their safe zone. Here, the PzH-2000 switches to a dedicated bunker-penetrating round with a thick steel body and a delayed fuse. Instead of exploding on the surface, the round punches through concrete or packed earth and detonates inside, precisely where defenders feel safest. Third scenario, a high-value target positioned far beyond the front line, an artillery battery, a command post, a radar site. Now the crew loads a guided munition. Its onboard trajectory correction system adjusts its flight path in real time, increasing accuracy and reducing the number of rounds required, minimizing the time the howitzer must remain exposed to counter battery fire. The range depends on the ammunition type. Standard rounds exceed 30 kilometers. Extended range and rocket-assisted rounds can approach or surpass 40 kilometers in upgraded variants. At such distances, the PzH-2000 can fire from beyond the reach of many enemy counter-battery systems, strike, relocate, and disappear before its firing position is identified with any certainty. When placed alongside competitors in the same category, the distinctions become clearer. Compared to modern towed artillery, the ZH-2000 offers a vastly superior first salvo rate and shoot and scoot capability. Against self-propelled systems from the United States, Russia, or South Korea, it is frequently praised for its accuracy and stability during sustained, high-intensity firing cycles, even if each rival system has its own strengths. The core advantage lies in flexibility. Commanders can choose inexpensive rounds for area suppression, penetrating rounds for hardened positions, precision-guided munitions for high-value targets. Artillery is no longer about firing as much as possible, but about firing the right round at the right target in the shortest possible time frame. Yet one practical question always remains. A howitzer can fire extraordinarily hard for a few minutes, but can it maintain that pace for hours or days under constant counter-battery pressure, repeated relocations, and harsh battlefield conditions? The strength of the PzH-2000 is the product of an entire support ecosystem working behind it, not merely the howitzer itself. Standard crew consists of 5 members: the commander, gunner, loader, autoloader, technician, and driver. Each holds a critical link in the chain. The commander receives target data, issues firing orders, and oversees the entire operation. The gunner manages the fire control computer. The autoloader technician supervises the automatic loading cycle and troubleshoots any errors. The loader manages the ammunition racks and selects the correct type of round. The driver chooses firing positions, maneuvers the vehicle, and ensures the crew can shoot and move on schedule. Because of the system's high degree of automation, PzH-2000 crews must understand far more than mechanical operation. They need competence in electronics, basic computing, and technical troubleshooting. A fully proficient crew cannot be trained overnight. It takes months of continuous instruction and practice to operate the system smoothly. Behind them, the maintenance and logistics network determines whether the howitzer can survive prolonged operations. After sustained firing missions, the gun barrel must be inspected for wear, while recoil components, hydraulics, pneumatics, and sensors all require systematic servicing. Nations that field the Pzh-2000 typically deploy dedicated technical teams with each artillery unit to handle rapid repairs. Mobility reflects the nature of its heavy track chassis. The Pzh-2000 performs reliably on firm ground, open terrain, light forests, and tactical roads. But deep mud, dense jungle, or steep mountainous terrain pose challenges. In hot, dusty, or sandy climates, maintenance frequency must increase to prevent fine particles from damaging pneumatic systems, sensors, and onboard electronics. Operational costs are significant. Fuel consumption, spare parts, ammunition expenditure, and the need for highly trained personnel. Yet the trade-off is clear. One Pzh-2000 can deliver firepower that previously required multiple older guns to achieve. Training, logistics, maintenance, none of these matter unless the system proves that under real combat conditions it truly delivers an advantage. And it has been tested not on paper but under hostile fire. The true value of the Pzh-2000 is not measured on a proving ground, but on the days when it must fire, relocate, fire again, and keep moving under the constant pressure of counter-battery radars and enemy drones. On a European front line, there were periods when Pzh-2000 batteries were tasked with back-to-back missions: counter-battery strikes, fire support for advancing infantry, attacks on logistical clusters, and suppression of enemy artillery sites. Each mission demanded rapid, precise firing, followed by immediate displacement to a secondary position before the enemy could calculate a return shot. In a typical counter-battery engagement, the moment target coordinates arrive from counter-battery radar or unmanned reconnaissance, the Pzh-2000 crew launched their opening salvo at multiple elevations, causing the rounds to land nearly simultaneously. The enemy artillery position was struck before its crews could disperse, and by the time the first explosions hit, the Pzh-2000 was already leaving its firing position. These engagements highlight its core strengths: fast-firing solution computation, exceptional shoot-and-scoot performance, long-range accuracy, all of which enable the Pzh-2000 to exert continuous pressure, forcing enemy units to spread out, reposition, or abandon prepared sites. But combat also exposed limitations. During some periods of extremely high-intensity sustained firing, certain Pzh-2000s experienced issues: overheated barrels, overloaded autoloaders, and stress on mechanical and electronic subsystems. The problem was not poor design, rather, the tempo of real combat sometimes exceeded the operating envelope anticipated in the original specifications. Crew reports reached a consistent conclusion: the Pzh-2000 is very powerful but unforgiving. Operate within its technical limits and it delivers speed, precision, and efficiency. Push it beyond those limits and failures become unavoidable. From the enemy's perspective, facing Pzh-2000 fire meant adapting fast. Options included dispersing forces to avoid becoming a mass target, deploying more drones to hunt for firing positions, or relying on longer-range artillery for counter-battery strikes. Yet even then, matching the Pzh-2000's tempo of fire and disappear remained difficult. In real combat, the Pzh-2000 has proven that it is far more than a set of brochure specifications. It is a system capable of reshaping the rhythm of offense and defense at both the tactical and operational levels. And once a howitzer with this level of speed, precision, and automation enters an army's order of battle, one question naturally follows: what does it do to the military balance regionally and across alliances? Any nation that fields the Pzh-2000 is not merely acquiring a howitzer, it is sending a message. It now possesses the ability to control, or at least exert significant pressure on a land battle space stretching tens of kilometers in every direction. At the tactical level, the PZH-2000 allows infantry and armored units to advance under more precise and consistent fire support. Commanders gain greater flexibility to employ artillery closer to the line of contact while reducing the risk of friendly fire. At the operational level, its long-range, rapid first volley capability and exceptional shoot-and-scoot performance disrupt the enemy's rhythm. Opposing forces must disperse, reroute movement corridors, or extend preparation time to avoid being caught by a sudden concentrated strike. At the strategic level, owning a NATO standard, digitally integrated artillery system means seamless participation in joint and coalition operations. PZH-2000 batteries can receive target data from multiple sources: ground reconnaissance teams, unmanned aerial vehicles, counter-battery radars, and airborne target designators, forming part of a continuous sensor-to-shooter network. Its presence also forces adversaries to adapt. Typical countermeasures include investing in longer-range artillery, strengthening counter-battery radars and response capabilities, expanding reconnaissance and loitering UAV fleets to hunt artillery units, enhancing electronic warfare systems to disrupt the sensor command fire chain. On a broader scale, the PZH-2000 accelerates the shift from traditional mechanical artillery to connected, data-driven firepower. Systems unable to integrate into real-time digital networks increasingly appear obsolete, yet no technological advantage lasts forever. As rivals develop longer-range guns, deploy denser UAV reconnaissance grids, and advance electronic warfare capabilities, a critical question emerges. Does the PZH-2000 still have room to evolve, or is it approaching the limits of what a manned, self-propelled howitzer can be in the 21st century? The future of the PZH-2000 is not the story of an aging weapon trying to hold its place. It is the story of a platform whose life is being actively extended through continuous modernization. Current upgrade programs focus on three core areas: extending barrel life, enabling longer periods of sustained fire, upgrading electronics, fire control computing power, and electronic warfare resistance, expanding integration with new sensors and more advanced precision-guided munitions. Parallel proposals aim to increase automation, reducing crew size, enhancing remote operation capability, and even further ahead, moving towards semi-autonomous configurations once data links and latency allow for safe implementation. Another developmental axis lies in ammunition. Longer-range precision rounds, improved guided projectiles, and even munitions capable of loitering over a target area before diving in are under research. If realized, a system like the PZH-2000 could shift from a purely tactical asset to one with near operational level reach, striking deeper into enemy formations. Still, the broader trajectory of artillery may move toward lighter, more dispersed, unmanned, and highly networked systems working alongside armed UAVs and long-range missiles. If this transition accelerates, heavy manned platforms like the PZH-2000 will face a crucial test. Can it adapt quickly enough, or will it gradually be pushed into a secondary role, overshadowed by a new generation of automated guns, missile systems, and drone-based strike assets? For now, the PZH-2000 maintains a clear position within modern artillery ecosystems. It is powerful and accurate, highly integrated into digital networks, and capable of delivering tactical effects disproportionate to its numbers. Its weaknesses are equally clear. It is heavy, expensive, and logistically demanding, and it requires thoroughly trained crews and maintenance teams. Yet for nations seeking a howitzer that is both formidable and immediately compatible with modern command and control architectures without rebuilding their entire artillery doctrine, the PZH-2000 remains a statement of intent. It represents more than steel and propellant. It embodies a country's commitment to organization, command discipline, and sustained firepower in a battle space where information and artillery rounds move almost at the same speed. In that sense, every PZH-2000 is more than a weapon system. It is a silent expression of national ambition, security concerns, and strategic capability in the 21st century.